Hey yo, what is poppin'? It's your boy Whiteout, and we've watched Money Game 1. We've watched Money Game 2, and it is time for Money Game 3, baby. That is right. Money Game 3. Let's lock in. I am pumped. Ooh, some piano. Somebody said it was him playing the piano. So I'll keep that in mind. I read that. Okay. Okay. Yo, popping off. Oh, his face is covered. Ooh, that's sick camera movements. Ooh, another one? Are they doing a little back and forth action? Taking it off.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student #1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. Now
Ooh, okay. So we're going through this person's life, right? We're going through his life, and it's like, yeah, he started out, he got good grades, and I think it's cool because it's kind of like a good connection with the other one, where it's like step 1, step 2, step 3, with like the seashells from Money Game 2. But now instead it's like we're going through 1 year of his life, 2 years of his life, and instead of like what you have to do to progress there, it's how this one person progressed into, I guess, a level of richness, right? And now his dad's saying like, okay, yeah, you're finally a man, you're making money, take everything you can.
19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name.
So now at 22, he's learning, you know, you can manipulate the system to lie, which I feel like ties back to Money Game 2. But so at that point, he's learning the system and he's learning to lie. What did he say about the thing? Did he say something in cocaine?
If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine.
Yeah, so 23, you know, he's like, I made all my money. It's time to party. It's time to go into it. And then 24, like he's about to say, is like the Forbes. Like now he's on Forbes and now he's being, I guess, rewarded with all this fame on top of wealth.
24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here, son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place.
So right off the bat, we can kind of tell, I mean, I guess it's not right off the bat, we're about halfway in, but we can tell, like, the dad is pushing him to being like, you're not doing enough. You made multi-millions on millions of dollars. You're not doing enough. Sell out. And then he starts manipulating and lying, and then he gets to the Forbes list, and his dad's like, you think that's it? You think that's all you're going to do? You're still doing nothing. And then he's selling nuclear weapons, like he said, to Iran, I think it was. And now he's like, you know, kind of in a sense, like, you know, dealing with war. And now he's like, could be the cause, could be the solution, like vice versa. But it's more of like, I feel like he's saying is like a selling out. Like you're giving people the opportunity to start attacking other people. And then we're moving up to like the father still telling him, you think what you're doing is good enough? And then he starts running for president. And he's at age 30 and his dad's like, you're losing the race. You're not winning anything. You thought you've made it so far. You haven't even made any sort of dent. And this kid has already like, you know, skyrocketed more than anybody could even imagine. And it's just like, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. So his dad is like pressuring him to trying to just, like, I guess overcome every single obstacle, which is good, but in that sense, he's losing himself and he's losing every single part of everything he kind of worked for by line.
31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
Ooh, blind eye from the popo. So the police, like, nobody's there to stop it. Even the police, you know, he's probably paying off the police right out of his pocket. So it's like he's getting away with everything he wants. And at 31, he was saying, just to get his father's approval, he started conquering everything. Now he's selling drugs. Now he's sneaking stuff across the border. He's doing all this, starting empires on empires just for that approval, because he's like reaching for that. Oh, he's getting a phone call.
35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again.
Oh, he's not going to be walking again. So he went from having everything in the world, trying to get his father's approval, to his father not making it, his father passing away. And I wonder if it's not getting his approval before he passed away that drove him down even a worse rabbit hole of abusing his own product, like he said, and then starting a war with the cartel, which inevitably led him to getting shot in the leg and now being told he's not able to walk again. So I wonder if all that is like kind of like a pyramid of where he didn't get his father's approval. And since he was seeking it, and since he was like kind of using him as guidance to get to the next step, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to what you said. Like I'm gonna stick to what you said, and I'm gonna do what you said because now you're gone, and I can still try. But like since you've never got that, you spiral down, and then you come back with even more anger.
Fuck.
So now he can't walk. He doesn't look happy.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame.
So now he's realizing, okay, sorry to cut it off, but now he's realizing, right? So like if we get to 42 and he's just like, I got all this money. I can't even walk because I tried to abuse this power, and I tried to take everything I could, and I tried to skip to the front of the line, and I was on top of the world. And I can't even walk. I can't enjoy these riches. And what's the point of buying a Lamborghini when it costs a life? And now it's finally everything that he's worked for, everything that he's done to climb and scratch his way to the top and screw over and manipulate and lie to all these people. It's finally coming to him. What is it all worth? What is it all worth?
There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music.
Oh.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
He's got a gun on the table. What's this about?
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
So I like how he's kind of going into that. Like, I mean, when you're in school, you're told to like, you have to go and you have to get a job and you have to, go to college. And like, they try to put you in this construct that you're supposed to be following. They're saying, here's a select path, and this is the path you're supposed to take. And if you don't take this path, you usually get criticized and scrutinized by a lot of people. And that's why a lot of people end up having goals, having ambitions, but never going for them. And even, it's difficult, like in the sense of like how he says it, because you could follow the path, right? And you could end out on top. you could follow the path and you could fall flat on your face. You could stray away from the path and you could end out on top. It could be the good way, the bad way. You could end up taking the path on your own and falling on your face still. Like, it all depends on how you take the path and how your morals are. Because if you're not afraid to screw over the first person that you meet, never mind the millions that follow you. It's like, what good does that actually do versus following the path and being able to, use and take advantage of everybody? Then it's like you're still doing the same thing. So what way is right? Right? And I mean, is there a right way? And money, like how he said even previous to that, money is one of those things where, yeah, people are killing themselves over. People, it's always says money's the root of all evil. Like, and it is true. I mean, people die over money. People waste their time over money when money at the end of the day is supposed to be a tool that helps you, not supposed to be a tool that hurts you, but everybody takes it as a tool that to hurt. And it's a shame that that's a thing, but it's just one of those things where, like, they say money makes the world go around, but also money's the root of all evil. So does evil make the world go around? I don't know. It makes you think, for real. I think I know where this is going, but oh, it's raining.
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father. It's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Then he presses on a trigger of a money game. I mean, yeah, like, he got all the way there. He made it to the end, and he ended off just sadly, taking his own life. I mean, in the end of it, I don't know if this is based on somebody. If this is based on somebody, like, maybe he changed the name or something, let me know. But I'm assuming it's just like an original story that he has created. But it's very much true. Like, you always see these people who are, whether they're celebrities, politicians, anybody, they always are, they have everything. And you look at them and you're like, I wish I could be them. Or like, I wish I had what they had. But they say, like, money doesn't change you. Money just shows you who you are at the end of the day. Because somebody on the side of, like, the good side, they could take that money and they could help people with it. They could change lives. They could do anything that's possible. But the same person or a different person with the same money could end up spiraling out, going on drugs, you know, reckless driving through any sort of neighborhood slash anything, risking the life, harming others. And it's just a shame that it's a 50-50 and it just enhances who you are, because money can help you live longer and money can be a great tool. But I feel like if you don't experience, I guess you can say, life without it, and if you're working for it super hard, it's one of those things where if you're just got it handed to you, or if you're just like, I guess from this character's perspective is like, if you just work your life but everything is like so easy for you, you get to a point where you're like it's boring. It's boring. And he got to a point where he was taking it over. He was owning the game. He was owning the world. And he's a part of the money game, but he's winning. And it doesn't matter. And he's not getting his dad's approval. His dad's telling him he's not doing enough. He needs to continue. He needs to conquer. He needs to keep moving forward. And he finally gets to the point where he's like, I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it. And then his dad passes away. And he's like, damn, that sucks. Starts spiraling out. He starts absolutely spiraling out. He's starting wars. He's doing his own product. And finally, he gets a wake-up call. He gets shot in the leg. He can never walk again. And then he starts kind of reflecting back on himself. and he goes, "What was all this money for? Because I can't even walk. I can't enjoy my life. I have gold piled up, like you said. I have probably, super fancy cars. I'm living in a palace, as he called it, and I can't even walk. I can't even enjoy anything that I've worked for, on top of probably still with the regret from his dad passing away and not being able to get that approval from him because everything he did wasn't good enough. So now he has all these luxuries and he has all these privileges and being able to be whatever he wants to do, be whatever he wants to be, but he's confined to a chair. So at the age of 45, he takes a 45, which he said was, that's how he said it, which is, I think that's really good writing. He decides to take his own life, but he pulls what did he say? He said pulled the trigger on the money game. Let's just listen to that part one more time.
Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Then he presses on the trigger of a money game. And he presses on the trigger of a money game because at the end of the day, it's the money game. It's the reason why he's pulling the trigger is because he was going so hard trying to make all this money, trying to divide and conquer, not caring about if he's lying, if he's stealing, if he's cheating, just getting to the top. And when he finally is at the top, he realizes there's nothing there. It's the same as being at the bottom. Obviously, there are some benefits, but it's how you use those benefits. Wow, what an amazing 3-part little series by Ren. I don't know how many he has. I know he had the Tales, and I know he has this one. I know some new stuff he's going to be coming out with. I don't know if it's going to be like different tales or if it's just Vincent's tale and then it's going to keep moving forward. But what an amazing storyline so far. What an absolute time to be able to watch this too. Like, I thank you guys for letting me watch this with you. Genuinely. This is great. I never heard of him, and then when somebody commented and told me to watch him, I didn't think it was gonna spiral down the rabbit hole, as you guys would say. But I'm really glad. I'm really glad it did because I've never heard of him before a few days ago, and I'm glad to be able to have the privilege to be able to kind of share it with you guys. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't, make sure you absolutely smash that like button and consider hitting that subscribe button. I thank you guys though, and I will see all you in the next video. Peace.